Hey everyone, before the story begins, take a second to subscribe to the channel for more emotional, true-to-life stories about family, betrayal, and hard-earned revenge. The barbecue was supposed to be simple. Late June in northern Italy, just outside Verona. The hills already turning dusty green, cicadas buzzing like static in the heat. I had spent the morning scrubbing the grill, setting up folding chairs under the walnut tree, arranging bottles of chilled Prosecco in a steel tub. Friends, family, laughter. That was the plan. After 14 years of marriage, I believed in plans. My wife, Sophia, floated between guests in a pale summer dress, smiling easily, touching shoulders, laughing a little too loudly. She looked happy in a way I hadn't seen in months. I told myself that was a good thing. Her best friend, Chiara, arrived late. She was already drunk. Chiara had always been present in our lives, in our house. She knew where we kept spare keys, which shelf held the good wine, which arguments Sophia never talked about. She had been there since university, through our wedding, through the miscarriage Sophia never fully recovered from, through every quiet fracture we pretended wasn't growing. By mid-afternoon, the sun was low, and the wine bottles were emptying faster. Music played softly from a speaker. Smoke curled lazily from the grill. I was turning sausages when I heard Chiara laugh, sharp, unfiltered. "So," she said loudly, swaying slightly, glass raised, "when are you finally going to leave her so everyone can stop pretending?" The world didn't stop. That was the strange part. The cicadas kept buzzing. Someone laughed, unsure. A fork clinked against a plate. I turned slowly. Chiara was looking straight at me. Her smile was crooked, fearless, cruel in its honesty. Sophia froze. "What?" I asked quietly. Chiara waved her hand. "Oh, come on. Don't act surprised. You're not really part of the picture anymore. We all know it." A few people shifted uncomfortably. Someone muttered Chiara's name, tried to take her glass. Sophia finally spoke. "Chiara, stop. You're drunk." Chiara leaned closer to her. "I'm honest." Our eyes met, mine and Sophia's. In that moment, I understood something with terrifying clarity. This wasn't a joke. This was rehearsal. I excused myself without another word and walked inside the house. The cool, tiled floor steadied me. I stood at the sink, gripping the edge, listening to the muffled sounds of the party resume. Too quickly, too eagerly. 14 years. I met Sophia when I was 26, the son of a factory electrician from Brescia who taught me that dignity was quiet and survival was stubborn. Her family owned vineyards outside Soave. Old land, old money, polite smiles that never quite reached the eyes. They had accepted me because I worked hard, because I didn't embarrass them, because Sophia insisted. But I was always provisional. When I helped expand the family business, modern distribution, export contracts, branding, they praised Sophia's vision. When profits rose, her father toasted tradition. When Sophia withdrew, when nights grew silent, when decisions happened without me, they called it marriage. The miscarriage broke something fundamental. In Sophia, in us, Chiara became her constant. I became furniture. That night, after the last guest left and the chairs stood empty under the walnut tree, Sophia didn't apologize. She didn't mean it like that. She said instead, folding napkins that didn't need folding. "How did she mean it?" I asked. Sophia didn't answer. That was when I knew the marriage was already over. I just hadn't been informed. Summer passed with surgical politeness. Sophia stayed out late. Chiara visited often. Conversations stopped including me. Decisions appeared fully formed. I began to notice patterns instead. The vineyard's finances. The way Sophia's brother Luca used company funds to cover private debts. The way land parcels were quietly transferred between shell entities. The way my name, still legally tied to the business, was kept off new documents. They thought I was passive. They mistook endurance for weakness. Autumn arrived early, the vineyards turning gold and rust. I hired a lawyer in Milan, someone who understood family empires and the damage they hide behind tradition. I began copying files, documenting transactions, tracing signatures. Chiara stopped pretending. "You're dragging this out," she said one evening, sitting at our kitchen table like she belonged there. "It would be easier if you just left." I looked at her calmly. Easier for whom? For everyone, she replied. You don't fit anymore. There it was again. Replacement. Quiet, efficient, justified. Sophia watched from the doorway, saying nothing. I smiled then, truly smiled. You should be careful what you say when you're sober, I told Kiara. It's easier to deny things when you're drunk. Winter came cold and wet. Fog rolled through the valley, heavy and persistent. The vineyard announced a major expansion, new investors, a heritage preservation grant from the regional government. The press loved it. So did the authorities. The hearing was scheduled in Verona, in a municipal hall lined with faded frescoes and modern microphones. Sophia's father would speak. Luca would present numbers. I was still listed as a co-director. When my turn came, I stood slowly, the room warm, the air thick with confidence. I'd like to clarify a few things, I said. Documents appeared on the screen behind me. Transfer records, misuse of funds, testimony from workers paid under the table, grants obtained under false pretenses. The room shifted. Murmurs spread. Sophia's face drained of color. Kiara wasn't there. She'd stopped attending public events. Courage has limits. The investigation was swift, brutal. The vineyard lost its grants. Assets were frozen. Luca was charged. Sophia's father resigned in disgrace. At home, Sophia finally broke. You did this to hurt me, she said, crying. No, I replied gently. I did this because you decided I didn't matter. The divorce was finalized in spring. Clean. I kept my shares, sold them quietly, walked away. On my last evening in the house, I stood under the walnut tree. The air smelled of new leaves and damp soil. Somewhere, cicadas began again. I thought of Kiara's voice, slurred but honest. Everyone knew. They just assumed I'd leave quietly. I locked the door behind me and didn't look back. Some betrayals announce themselves in laughter. Others teach you how to stand alone, and both can change everything.